Hey, what's up guys, I'm Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing you another hopefully exciting video. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is what the landscape looks like now that Motohiro Okubo has departed from Project Soul. What kind of project are we looking at for the future of Soul Calibur, and do we have anything to worry about? Now, if you've been following my channel recently, you know I've been covering this intently. I made a video on it, and I also did a live stream centered around the prospect of what the possibilities entailed. But if you didn't catch that live stream, I'm going to go over a few things today, and I also have a bunch of new thoughts, so hopefully that if you did watch the live stream, you're going to get something out of this video as well. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is the team. So we all know that Motohiro Okubo was the executive producer, and the executive producer is the one that puts together the team. They're the ones that comes up with the budget plans and lays out the outline and design. They're not necessarily the director or in control of the art department or anything that is like intermittently sparsed into the game aesthetically. It's mainly just the back scenes of like getting things going and keeping things on pace and things like that. So even though Motohiro Okubo has departed, his team is the one that was handpicked by him, and I'm sure he left direction behind below of where he would want things to go, right? The director is supposedly for right now going to stay the same, at Masuyama on Twitter, and a lot of Project Soul is still staying on as well. Now, obviously we know that departing in Q1 like this means that there's not going to be a Season 3. I've been saying this for a while, but a lot of people I still see asking for possibilities of it. And without the executive producer on the project, they would have to hire on another executive producer. And they're not going to take the chances of hiring an executive producer for a coexisting game that already has a pre-built team and have to run through all of the trial and error it takes to get acclimated with all of that, just so that they can go on and make a season. Even if there's a layout or a backlog or the data that's in the game already, that stuff would probably be saved for a future installment with a new executive producer. Now, the executive producer's job is important, and it depends on the game, or movie or whatever kind of medium it is, because they all have executive producers. A lot of them rely on the marketing department, and they also rely on the art department and things of that nature to get their vision, I guess, put forth on the screen. But they do hire people that they feel are consistent with their vision in order to get this done. So, well, not hire, but put together, because they're in charge from Bandai Namco or from whatever company that they work for, probably like publishing company, to put together a team that is fit for the job. It doesn't necessarily make a project according to their vision. That's usually more along the lines of the director and the writer. It does, however, rely on who fills in the gaps to play those roles. So obviously he would have to have some kind of a kin vision with those people so that they can kind of put forth the thing that they all want to together, right? So now that the team is actually fully assembled, this is the first time that Project Soul is supposedly going to be staying on for the next game. We can pretty much feel safe knowing that the writers are still going to be writing the same story and building up their narrative that they were with the end of Season 2. The art department and art directors are going to be going alongside of them with already what they know with their characters and their storyboarding and their art direction. And we already have like the data that confirms that maybe some of these characters that were supposed to be in Season 3, like Aeon or Yoon-Song or Rock, are going to appear in the base roster of Soul Calibur VII. That is a good thing because, like I said before, it gives them time up until their next project to get things right. You don't want to rush these types of characters, especially legacy characters, but you can actually intermittently put them into the story this way. Hopefully that doesn't really negate too much from the overall narrative. I don't think it would. But I think in general, it is going to be a similar thing to what we've seen from Season 2. So if you've played Season 2 and you've gone through the narrative and you know where the story is actually heading towards for Soul Calibur 7, you know about the Ishka Oct and the Wan Gobak and the swords and the shepherds, you know all about that stuff. So you're just going to be along for the ride when they start their new direction, or not new direction, when they continue this velocity of this current direction. Now, this is to say that they don't have to not have Okubo present at all. Like the next writer can certainly reach out to him and try to get his opinion or what he was going for with certain aspects of the script. That's not like anything they definitely can't do. It's not like just because he doesn't work for Bandai Namco that he's cut off completely from like ever talking to anybody on Project Soul ever again. A lot of those guys are going to stay tight. A lot of those guys are going to have personal conversations with him. They have personal emails and things of that nature, phone calls, just like to get an overhead of what's where the direction is going. So the new executive producer's job is pretty much going to be to try and focus the track that they're currently on. So they're going to take a look at the direction, they're going to take a look at the art, they're going to take a look at the storyboarding, the writing, and the director's vision for where the next game is going to go. And their sole job is to keep them focused on their task and make sure they work behind the scenes to try and help keep them on track and on schedule, and also to work with Bandai Namco in the marketing department to market the game out to get into as many new hands as possible. Whether this means we get new gimmicks is probably going to be the case. We've seen new gimmicks with every single Soul Calibur, and we don't know if Okubo is going to have a hand in that. A lot of us want to see kind of a sort of revision to the character creator, at least like unlocking some of the limitations that are placed upon it by the races that are in the game. Other people want to see more of a competitive scene. So we're going to see where the game takes us from there. But as far as Soul Calibur 7 and the integrity of how it's going to come out, I think we're going to see a very similar project to what we were promised. It's going to definitely be a lot better than Soul Calibur 6 completely. Those of you who know how Soul Calibur 6 came to be know that it was kind of an application title, and they weren't giving full budget or full reins. They were very held back by a lot of arbitrary things, and they had to like use a lot of old assets and affects from their older engines and things of that nature. We've seen people complain ad nauseum about this without actually knowing why that's the case. I'm not saying that you don't spend money on the product, so like you don't expect like to get that kind of AAA experience, because that is warranted. But there was just some little background there that kind of lends context to that, I guess. So I guess what I want to say in finality for this is that I'm probably not going to talk about too much more of this topic, because I've already covered this in my live streams recently and in this video and the video prior, so you can catch up what I need to know on that. But while I do respect Motohiro Okubo, and I do like the direction that he took Soul Calibur 6 and where the trajectory is going towards Soul Calibur 7, I don't think that his leaving is going to too much impact the end goal or the end vision of what that project is supposed to become in the end. We may see some changes here or there, but it's not going to be a completely different direction like we saw with like Soul Calibur 5 or something, for example. It's very much on this trajectory. It was a reboot of the series, and now we're taking where the reboot goes. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this video and what you think about Motohiro Okubo. Also, what kind of changes would you like to see implemented into the systems, or any kind of anything about the game for Soul Calibur 7. I think the number one thing I need to focus on, besides unlimiting the character creation, is a little bit more single-player aspect, a little bit more balancing, and the netcode needs to actually definitely be implemented better, if not completely redesigned from the ground up. With that being said, we're going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank you guys for watching, listening, and sharing, and liking, and all that good stuff that you did to this video. And as I always say, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.